Hey y'all, I'm Blaine Phillips.
And I'm Jason-LeVan.
We're married, like just a minute ago, but we've been together for 14 years.
We have a teenage daughter.
Which means she's basically an adult, right?
We're also growing a business on the side together.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Through all of that, we've learned how to improve so many aspects of our lives and show up in an amazing way.
So we decided to host a podcast to share our journey with you.
It's called Let's Do Life Together, because that's just what we want to do with you.
So if you could use some tips and tricks on how to make life a little smoother,
then you're in the right place.
come on in and let's do life. I don't want to brag, but my 13-year-old is probably better in the kitchen than you are.
And we're back. Thanks for joining us here today. We are excited to bring episode 9 to you, and it's a big one for us. It's Kids in the Kitchen, and we're bringing back our kid, Sienna.
Hi, I'm back, everyone, and I'm excited about today's episode.
Yeah, today is a great episode. It's something that you can start right now, today. Go ahead, slide us in your back pocket, put those earbuds in, or turn that radio up in the car if you're driving your kid to school so they can hear it, because this is real life, practical advice that we implore you to start doing. Bring it to your family now. It is so important. So I want you to stop for a second and think, do you know an adult who can't cook, isn't comfortable in the kitchen, says, I can't cook, I'm not comfortable in here, I don't even know how to boil water? That's a common phrase where I'm from anyway. I bet you can. That might even be you, right? Far too many people have no idea how to handle themselves in the kitchen or what to do about it. Guess what? We all need food. We all have to eat. Food happens in the kitchen. So if you don't feel comfortable in there, what in the ham sandwich is going on? What are you eating? What does your day look like? I'm not saying that I'm Bobby Flay over here. I guess I wouldn't be Bobby Flay. So, you know, who's a female chef I would be? Cat Cora, maybe. Anyway, I'm no chef, but I know my way around the kitchen. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Knowing your way around the kitchen, where it should start, practical advice that you can put into place with your kids and your family right now that will make an impact on their life and your life. A big one, actually.
Getting them in the kitchen will teach them valuable life lessons and life skills, and it will also teach you patience.
Yes, very true. It is no secret around here. Jason has the patience of Job. I do not have so much patience, but there's a few things that I have had to figure out as a parent that has really given me more patience, and having Sienna in the kitchen has definitely been one of them. So great point, Jason.
Right. So everything takes a little bit longer. Keep that in mind. Giving assignments, food prep assignments, or cooking assignments to kids of any age is just going to take longer because they're just learning.
It's true. But, oh my gosh, having them in the kitchen can turn into actually a huge help for you down the road. It's like with most things, you put in a little work up front, you get those systems in place, and they pay off down the road. Plus, do you have a picky eater on your hands? Hands up over here. I used to have the chicken nugget mac and cheese queen, right, Sienna?
I used to eat like kid food, but now I eat normal food and I'll eat just about like everything.
It's true. And I attribute a lot of that to having her in the kitchen. Kids are way more likely to try new things and be a little more adventurous if they had a hand in making it. You get to be excited about it. They get to see it. They get to touch it. They get to know that they had a part in making that. And they're way more likely to eat it unless you just serve up this random concoction in front of them and they don't know what went into it or how it was made or even the hard work that went into doing it, right?
Right. Yeah, I definitely feel like you're really excited to try something after you helped make it, because then you're like, oh, it looks so good, and you're excited because you helped and you're like proud of it.
Right. I think back to easy bake oven days. I had an easy bake oven and Sienna had an easy bake oven. Oh my gosh, those concoctions are so gross and so processed, but I was so freaking excited. I'd get in there with my little mini spatula and I'd whip it up, and I'm pretty sure I burnt everything I ever did, which I'm not actually sure how I did that when it was cooking on a light bulb, but nonetheless, it was burnt. But I would serve it up to my mom with so much excitement, wanting her to try it because I had made it. I didn't even know what was in it, but I had made it. And it's the same thing. Having the kids in the kitchen, you're serving up, I don't care if you're making butternut squash. They're excited because they're doing it and they want you to try it and they want to eat it. Plus, it's an opportunity to teach them about foods, all kinds of new vegetables and fruits and whatever it is. You get to talk about where it comes from on the animal and what it took to get it to your table and all those kinds of learning opportunities.
Which things need washing, how to cut different ways, different things.
Yeah, great point.
How to read a recipe.
Oh my gosh, we're talking about life skills, math skills, how to divide if you want to have a recipe, if you're going to make more because you have friends coming over. The opportunities for learning in the kitchen and turning it into something fun, turning it into a lesson, they're really endless when it comes to kids, honestly.
And it all just kind of stacks on top of each other. So if you add in a whole meal, then you're talking about time management and paying attention to, what's on the stove, what's in the oven, what time you expect to serve dinner.
Exactly. I mean, I'm still working on that. Sometimes I over or underestimate. And like Jason mentioned, yes, having your kids in the kitchen at times, especially when they're younger, it can slow you down. And let me tell you, you're gonna whack your shin on that stool more than once. They need a stool. They can't reach the counter. And if you're anything like us, it was a kitchen chair for a long time. And I whacked my shin and I bumped into it. And you have to say, can you get down and move? Because I need to get in that cabinet where you're standing. But back to that lesson in patience, right? We have graduated now. Sienna, are you fully out of the stool stage?
Well, I used to always be on the stool because I was always pretty short and I just liked feeling higher up anyway. So occasionally we'll use it to just get something that's high up, but now I can reach the counter without it. So
it's true, but you're going to whack your shin and just move on. And no, you don't need to have them in the kitchen for every single meal. No, sometimes you just need to be down and dirty and get dinner on the table. And that's okay. But plan ahead if you can. Do you have a Sunday afternoon where it's kind of chill and you just want to do some baking or make a fun dinner? Then enjoy that time. Know that the dinner that typically takes you 30 minutes is going to take you an hour and a half. Plan for that. Look at it as special bonding time with your kid and just enjoy it, because it's cliche, but the time is so precious and we just can't get it back. So enjoy where you're at.
And while you're in there, it's not all about just the food and the food prep and the cooking. So that's time that you're spending with the kids and you can talk about life in general.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, Sienna's to the age now where she is so helpful. And Sundays around here are chore days. It's what we do. It's when we get stuff done. We do the laundry and we do the things, and we also do food prep. But Sienna, what does food prep look like for us on Sundays?
Well, most of the time it's all three of us in the kitchen, and the oven's on for a couple hours and we got things going in and out, and there's certain people are doing certain things, but we're all in there together and just talking and playing music. And
there's always music. Unfortunately for us, Jason is in control of said music. But
yeah, Daddy's jams are something really special.
But we turn on the jams, whatever. Sometimes Sienna and I, a rare good jam might come on and you got to take a dance break. You just got to dance. I mean, we did say rare, right?
Right. Sometimes.
But anyway, you make it fun. We make it fun. You turn on the jams and we just talk about what's going on in life, what's going on in the week. And Jason's right. The time is so special. You have the opportunity to learn. You have the opportunity to teach them. And you just have the time to bond together. And let me just tell you, there are things that your kids can do at all different stages of life. So I know we're talking to our 13-year-old today, but maybe you have a toddler that's going around. Awesome. Do they have a drawer in your kitchen or a cabinet that's just theirs that they can be in there around your feet and pulling out their pots or pans or their just random plasticware and they just feel a part of it? Because that's what it's about, is feeling like you're a part of it.
What's the first thing you remember helping with?
The first thing I remember is I would come in and just look and smell and sometimes like wash things off in the sink.
Yeah. Can you remember the first, like, do you have memories of like the first things that we baked or cooked or did? Do you know? I mean, you don't have to.
No, I
We're
don't
putting you on the
exactly
spot.
remember.
It's always been special to me. And we talked on this in the previous episode where we covered our Advent, but on Christmas Eve, we always baked cookies for Santa. And I'm guessing many of you already do that. That's become just a tradition where your kids are in there baking cookies, right?
Yeah, that's always definitely been a thing. And I've always enjoyed that. I like baking a lot in general. So that's always fun.
Yeah. So we're just scaling that, just breaking that out of those couple of times a year traditions where you bake the cookies for Santa and maybe you make I don't know, something special at Thanksgiving, but get them in for regular stuff because cookies are great, but you can't survive on cookies alone.
Well, and I think it's important to understand that the tools in the kitchen aren't scary. So baking the cookies with mom often means the kid scoops it out, puts it on a pan, and then mom puts it in the oven, takes it out of the oven. Anything remotely hot,
it's true.
she deals with.
Yeah. Don't forget they dump half the tub of sprinkles on the top of the cookies. That's the kids' role, scooping in sprinkles. But it's true. How often do we really let our kids get in there and get dirty with it and sometimes make a mess and touch the oven and do the things? I mean, I was talking a little bit, but there's all ages. Toddlers can be helpful when they get to an age of learning to count. And if you're doing food prep and bagging up the different veggies and getting them ready for the week and getting their snacks ready. And then when you get to preschool, Sienna was cutting. You can cut. There are some awesome tools out there for just safe edge cutting so they don't cut themselves, but they just learn how to saw and how to use different things and what a colander is and how to use those different tools. School age, oh my gosh, by that point, Sienna was full on making her lunch and understanding, and now she's 13. And Sienna, tell me, what is a 13-year-old able to do in the kitchen?
Well, I make my breakfast and my lunch every day. I pack up my lunch, and then sometimes I like to bake a lot, so I'll normally bake if that's ever a thing. And on food prep days, I normally cut up the cucumbers and carrots and the strawberries and make sure to wash them all and just stuff like that that's simple. And I'll cook things up. Sometimes there's dinner that I like that I'll make.
Can you make dinner all by yourself?
Mm-hmm. I do a good job.
Like completely unattended?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone through phases. I mean, there's been times when we're making the menu where Sienna will ask, can I have Thursday night? And sure, you can. She has picked a recipe. Do you remember the last one you made?
I don't remember the last one, but I like making frittatas, which were good. And there was one recently that I made.
Oh, boy.
I made a recipe called bulgogi bowls, which were pretty good. I chose it out of the cookbook myself, and then wrote all the things that I needed on the list, and was ready to make it. I did some prep in advance.
Yeah, I mean, she did the whole steps. She knew she was tight on time that day, so she cooked her rice a couple days before, and then she completely served it up. She even had some plating skills on that bowl.
Also, when I was making a frittata recently, it was a good frittata, and the way that this frittata works is you put the pan that you cook it, like the separate things into the oven. And so I take it out and I make sure not to touch the thing because it's hot. And then I put it on top of the stove to cool down. And then I took the pot holder off of the handle because I just forgot to. And then because it's a pan sitting on the stove, I don't remember that the handle is hot. And then I touched the handle and burnt my hand. But it was fine. It healed after like a week.
It's true. She screamed from the kitchen. Jason went, and we pretty much could tell what had happened before we got in there, because guess what? Accidents are going to happen. I cut my finger a couple weeks ago in the kitchen. I'm an adult. They're going to happen. Kids burn their fingers when they're little because they're reaching for something hot. It's just a part of it. When you don't freak out and when it just becomes part of the learning experience, that's just what it is.
Right. It's how you learn. And after that burning incident, that's when we came up with the process to prevent that.
Right. So now I remember to put the pot holder on the handle when I take it out and keep it there so that it reminds me that it's hot.
Yeah, we all do that. It's just a system. And now she figures it out, and now she won't burn herself anymore. It wasn't a bad burn, and it was okay, but it happens. Accidents happen. It's all a part of learning. We can't let that fear keep us from something. I mean, I have a good girlfriend who loves to just say, I'm not good in the kitchen. And she will openly admit that it's because she was never in there as a child. Her mother did not want her in there. Her mother had the kitchen. That was her domain. She made the meals. She served it up, and she never got to learn. And she wishes that were different now, and she's conscious, and she always comes to me with, what can my kids be doing at this age? Because she has 3 children and they're at all different ages. And so I started doing some research and writing down things that I had Sienna doing. And I went ahead and put together a little file for her of the different ages and the things that you could be doing. And I'm giving that to you too. If you're just wondering, okay, I have a 4-year-old. What kind of things could I make sure to have my 4-year-old doing? You can go to blamephillips.com. It's free. Just download it. You'll see from ages to 0 to teenager and different things and different skills that you might want to make sure you're teaching them and how they can be helpful and how they can be learning. And I know I mentioned earlier that we have some favorite tools. Like, Sienna, what is your favorite kitchen tool? This should be good.
Well, I like a lot of the different tools. I like the KitchenAid, and I like the avocado slicer. That one's really cool. Yeah. And I like the scoopers, and I also like the egg yolk separator.
I knew she was going to say that. She's always looking for an opportunity to need an egg white around here.
I thought she'd say the spiralizer, because that's a fun one for kids for sure.
That is a great fun one for kids. You can find a lot of our favorite kitchen gadgets over on blamephillips.com. There's a section for just our favorite items. It can show you where to get them, links right to Amazon, and just show you some of our favorite tools. The spiralizer is definitely one, and they are not all created equal. So you want to go over and check that out and just see. We've got different things that we've used at different ages for her along the way. So a couple free resources there. Find our list of favorite kitchen tools and download that freebie that tells you what your kids can be doing at different ages. Sienna, tell me what advice, like your kid, I have no idea what you're about to say, but what advice do you have for helping kids get into the kitchen for both the parents and the kids?
Well, probably just to do it and not be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the oven or knives or anything, because not much can go so wrong. And if you're just afraid of it forever, then you won't be as successful as an adult with it. And I think that the parents shouldn't be afraid too much for their kids to do things. And that you should just no, when you're 2 years old, don't start cutting up things, but gradually get into new skills, and then eventually you'll have learned a bunch of different things.
What great advice. You can't mess up anything too badly. So you throw it away and you start over. It's okay. That's how we learn to do anything in life, really. You just have to start. Where's Jason? I'm sure he's going to tell us. Just start. Just get in there and just do it.
So just to kind of recap what we've talked through today, like we said, just start. Get them in there. Get them in there now. They're not too young. They're not too old. They can learn. The kids will learn quickly. You're obviously going to supervise and teach the safety as you go along, but you can't be scared. You can't be scared for them, and then they won't be scared. And it's okay that it's not all the time. It's just you're going to carve out special times where the kids are in there helping you and make things, appropriate at every age, which again, we've got that resource on the website for you to pull down. And what they'll really learn is, skills for life that they're going to carry on to their kids.
Yeah, how special is that? You're teaching them things that they're going to carry on to their kids and generations to come. And you're really equipping them with a life skill that will last. Sienna, what is your most favorite thing to make? Number one recipe, if I said go for it, you can make anything in the kitchen you want right now. What would you make?
Well, that's really hard. But probably something that I would bake. So either some sort of cookies or a cake or cupcakes.
Sienna, you did not nail that question. I was pretty sure you were going to say my favorite cookies ever. And I was going to say, okay, time to end this episode. We're wrapping it up. Time to make our famous chocolate chunk cookies.
Well, I said cookies. They're so good. Oh my goodness, they're so good.
They are really good. But it's funny that she says that because through all of this, it was about for us giving her skills and getting her comfortable that she could carry on. But she's developed a love for baking. And I like baking, but it was never my big thing. But she begs to bake and just be in there. As a matter of fact, she just recently celebrated her 13th birthday, and you always get to pick your dessert that you want. And she wanted my famous chocolate cake recipe, which you can find the recipe on the blog. I did share it. See, and I shared it. Is that okay?
That's fine, but it's so good. Everyone should make it. It's got the best frosting and it's the best cake, and it's so good. And I've been making it for my birthday. Well, I haven't been making it the whole time, but I've had it for my birthday dinner for like at least 5 years.
And this year she asked to bake it. She was like, that's part of the treat. I don't care that it's my own birthday. I want to bake the cake. And she did completely by herself, baked it, made the frosting and iced it. And it was delicious. So get your kids in there, enjoy the time with them, give them that skill. And I just bet you're going to get rid of some of those picky eaters when you start to let them get their hands in there and get dirty with it too.
So get them in there with you. Snap a quick pic. Tag us on the socials so we can see them in action.
Oh my gosh, kids in cute little chef's hats are like the most adorable thing, so I can't wait to see your little chef. Don't forget to scoop up the download in case you're looking for what they can be doing at that age. It's over at blainephillips.com, and as always, these are free to you because we're just doing life together, right? And we want to help you. So any resource we can give you along the way makes our life easier, and it makes your life easier.
And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of these episodes.
Yep, because as we go into the new year, we've just got more great content coming your way. And on that note, the last thing I'll say is if there's anything that you're struggling with at home or you want to know, shoot us a message. Let us know. Find us in the socials and say, hey, can you tell us what you do in this scenario? And that we'll be happy to record a podcast on it. All right, until next time, thanks for doing life with us. Have you thought about how you will plan for 2019 as a family? We have, and I'm so excited to share the news. We've decided to plan for our year right along with you. That's right. Over in our free Happy Healthy Mamas Facebook community, we will be hosting live classes daily during the last week of the year, walking you through what we do to plan our finances, our relationships, our wellness, well, just all the things. You aren't going to want to miss it. We've added the link to our community right here in the show notes. All you have to do is request to be added, and you'll be ready for our Let's Plan 2019 Together week. Bring your own mimosa, and we'll see you over there.